Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for, well, actually Anonymous. I almost said his name, but Anonymous, which that's fine. If people want to send a paid request and you want to remain anonymous, you just have to let me know, and I will write that down. No questions asked. That's fine with me. So, Anonymous wanted my thoughts on Animorphs, the TV show, the first 3 episodes. Now, first off, if anyone wants to request any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, episode reviews, topics, tier lists, rankings, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And Animorphs, I remember hearing about the books. I never read the books, but I do remember seeing the covers back in the day in school where, how do I put it, sometimes you would have like the book fair, and schools will have that to try to get kids, hey, get a book and read and stuff. And sometimes I would be curious about like the Goosebumps ones. Tales in the Midnight Hour is ones I used to have. I don't have them anymore. There's about 4 or so of those. Tales from the Midnight Hour, more Tales from the Midnight Hour, even more Tales from the Midnight Hour, etc. And I remember seeing the cover of the Animorphs, but I just never bothered to read them. Now, I didn't realize they did a TV show until this request came in, but they did. It was on Nickelodeon. It was on for 2 seasons. I think the first season was like 20 episodes, but then the second season was like 6 episodes. And okay, so the premise is you have these 5 teenagers: Jake, Rachel, Cassie, Tobias, and Marco. They're hanging out, and then Jake, played by Shawn Ashmore, who is Iceman in those older X-Men movies, his dog runs off. Him and then the rest chase after the dog to this like construction site. They see a ship, well, they see and mostly hear a ship crash. They go in and they see this alien emerge who is wounded. And the alien's name is Ilfangor, which I don't know why sounds like a wrestler from Mexico. Ilfangor with the El Matador, El Torito. Don't step on the Dorito. But anyway, Ilfangor is wounded. Says, hey, I got some bad news, some bad shit's coming. You're gonna die. But if you don't want to die from these aliens called the Yurts. The Yurts. That'd be if it was called the Yeet. But the Yurts. They're parasites that will go into your ear and control you, so that reminds me of those slugs in Star Trek II Wrath of Khan. But okay, he's trying to be like a little bit body stature, a little bit puppet master. I would say more puppet masters. Control you, become the host, etc. I'm dying, but there's a way that maybe you guys could help save your own planet. Here's this tube. Each of you touch the tube. So the idea is after they touch the tube, now if they touch an animal, they get their DNA. By doing so, that means if they concentrate hard enough, they can become that animal, hence Animorphs. Now, I watched the first 3 episodes, and it's pretty much setting it up, the premise, the idea they gotta be a bit paranoid now. The main villain, who we see kind of his true form, but only in shadow, as it kills the good alien. And pretty much the story is that they run off. They leave this disc thing that they were told to protect. They converse at school. They don't know who to trust. They realize the principal is one of those who are controlled. And then the next episode, they pretty much go into touching animals, at least a few of them, getting their DNA. So at least, there is kind of a bit of training and the fact of they don't just go into a battle and know how to do it right away. So, I mean, there's not really training. It's just at least they do some early attempts before they go into battle. At least there's that. And at the end of the second episode, some of them transform. They get the disc from the construction site. They escape. And in the third episode, they find out that the lead guy's older brother, Shawn Ashmore's older brother, is what they call a controller, meaning someone who's been being controlled by one of those slug creature things. The two leads, Jake and Marco, the reason I hesitate is to remember these damn names. Jake and Marco, they spy and they find out that this little shindig that some of these aliens are cooking up to try to get some of the high school students there and thus maybe turn them. Our lead characters try to save them, but they fail. And then by the time they escape, one of their own, Tobias, the guy who can turn to a hawk, he's missing. And there you go from there. I wasn't a fan of this. I thought this rather sucked ass, to be blunt. I thought this sucked ass. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I thought this was fun. This was like a shitty version of Power Rangers. I know that's not fair to say because it's based on a book. And from what I understand, the book is a bit more serious or a bit more darker. Okay, I can appreciate that, but I'm only judging from the show. And I guess, how dark can you be of a show when you're on Nickelodeon? I know there's a show called Are You Afraid of the Dark, which I vaguely remember that show. I think I did see it a few times back in the day, but I can't tell you an episode and describe it. The acting is fucking horrible. The acting is fucking dog shit. From everybody. From Marco trying to be funny and failing to the two ladies, Rachel and Cassie. Rachel being the blonde, Cassie being maybe a little bit more into animals. And the dialogue delivery, it just comes off as so fucking fake and so fucking awkward and as if they just found the lines 5 minutes ago. And I'm like, these guys are fucking awful. I'm not. Why should I praise it? They're all fucking awful performances. And then when they change the animals, it's laughable. I mean, number one, the morphing effects, I can't think they would have held up back then, let alone if you watch it now. The morphing effects just look goofy, and the way they turn where, like Shawn Ashmore, the first time he does it, he's hiding somewhere and there's his dog, so he grabs his dog and then he's able to turn to a version of his dog. And you see like his face turn to a dog and his nose growing to a snout. And later on, Cassie is a horse, of course, and then turn back to a human, so she had like a human form but a horse head. The wannabe funny guy Marco, he's like, I don't know about this. Okay, I'll try something small like a rat. So his eyes kind of try to grow into a rat, then his face tries to turn to fucking Master Splinter, and then he becomes a goddamn rat. Or when the Rachel character tries to be this little cat and her eyes, I'm like, these are fucking goofy as shit to watch. These morphing effects are fucking... Now, eventually, the lead guy, Jake, is able to touch a white tiger and thus can turn into one. And the other girl, Rachel, touches a lion and is able to turn into one. You see those two animals in the third episode. But I mean, part of me wonders, like this alien, like, is this the best power you could give me, alien dude? I could turn to a fucking animal? How about into a fucking transformer? How about some guns and shit? You got some guns? I'll take the guns. I don't give a fuck about turning to a goddamn pig or a goat or a fucking horse. Because you turn to a horse, but if they got a fucking gun, horse ain't gonna do shit with it. Unless John Wick's on it, and then it'll save your ass. But I don't want a fucking lion. I mean, okay, cool, it's a lion or it's a white tiger. Ain't gonna protect you from a gun. I would think, these aliens maybe have a little bit of guns, space guns. Where's the laser guns? You tell me you got no laser guns? You got no fucking other alien guns? Space guns? Really? I'd rather have that instead than turn to a fucking cat. I like cats, but I don't want to turn to one. And the morphing just looks awkward. The characters, Jake is the leader. Again, his older brother, you find out, is controlled. Marco tries to be funny, but he's never fucking funny. Oh, the stories that his mom died, and so it's just him and his dad. Boo fucking who. Here's some tea bags from my bunhole for you to, feel sorry for. Because they're not in your mouth yet. The blonde girl sometimes, I don't know, acts like a ditz. The other girl acts like whoever the fuck. And Tobias is the outsider. Not the NWO, but, different outsider. Who wants to be a bit more of a loner. I guess that's one of the reasons why he turns to a hawk. So you just fly around where the fuck he wants to. Maybe that's the one I would be, a hawk, a bird, so I could fly the fuck away from this goddamn bullshit. Interesting that the first scene is a couple characters playing a PlayStation game. I spent the whole time wondering, number one, where the fuck are they playing this? Where it looks like a PlayStation game, but you put coins in. I'm like, so what? It's like an arcade, but the arcade has... It's a play, and you can tell it's a PlayStation game because it has the controls of the PlayStation on the fucking thing. And I realize it's Beast Wars for PlayStation 1. That's the game they're playing. But I'm like, why? Okay, this place, I guess you need to put fucking coins to play it in. Okay. The look of the aliens, like El Fangor and the other one... Like El Fangor, I could barely see his face because most of the fucking time it's in shadow. Until you finally get a few close-ups. I'm like, it's there with the design. It has like the I don't know how to describe them. They got these little tentacles that looks like they have an eyeball on each of them as well. I mean, the designs were there. The other Animorph powers, there's a bit where Jake and the other girl, they turn into the dog and cat, they go in, they get the disc. And then Tobias is the hawk, gets this guy out of the way so the other two can escape with the disc. In episode 3, Jake and Marco, they pretend to be these little lizards. So they just sneak in and figure out what's going on. And when I'm talking about the acting, when one of them finds the lizard and it's Mark going, "Please, Jake, please help me. Don't let me die. Please, Jake. Oh, don't let me die." I'm like, is that really the best take you got, man? Is it? Is it the best take you got? Whew. the acting such, the production value is barely anything. It looks on the cheap, looks like a cheap Nickelodeon show. The morphin effects are fucking cringe and awkward to look at. The acting is pretty bad all across the board. Even Sean Ashmore I've liked in other stuff, but this is a rough, early days for him, I guess. Again, it's based on a book, so I can't. And it's not fair to say it this way, but when I watched the 3 episodes, I thought, okay, take Manimal and Power Rangers and put them together, because you have the multiple teams and different groups, different sectors, very diverse cast. This alien or mentor, whatever, that gave them their powers. And then Manimal, back to the day, where people could turn into animals, just like this. Only they didn't need shitty morphing effects. So I don't know what else to say, man. How about you turn to a fucking aardvark? Can you do that just for the shits and giggles? So I'm doing this just I'm already fucking tired and shit. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And yeah. Take that for you will. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now. Yeah, this wasn't for me. Sorry, guys. I'm already falling the fuck to sleep thinking about this fucking show. No wonder it only lasted, 2 seasons. I could see why. And I did just the whole idea, just changing the animals. I always, not always, but that's just a lame fucking idea. Turn to an animal. Maybe like in better hands, you have a very capable actor or a funny actor, and you really make it work. Maybe, but I don't know. Can you do martial arts and fight scenes? No. Do you have this? It just seemed like a less cooler version of Power Rangers. Well, yeah, I know when the books came out. I know. I'm just saying what the way the show is. That's what reminding me of. So take that for you will. And I did, like the just watch clips of the morphin effects and see how awkward and ugly they fucking look. It makes for some unintentionally funny moments when they're trying to morph or they're in the middle of the morph shots. Morphing was one of those techniques that they needed a lot more time to hone in on. That's just me, though. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.